Hello and welcome back to Derail Valley. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. Last time I made a video in this was 2 months ago. In fact, I think it might be over 2 months ago. Anyway, thank you very much, as I said, for joining me in today's video. Last time out, I think I was struggling with a train, trying to get it up a fairly steep hill, at least at some point. I wasn't really struggling. I think I wasn't struggling overall. I was just struggling in the sense of the train was moving, but I was trying to get it to move a lot faster than it was. That should not be an issue in today's video, as I'm going to be going downhill towards the harbour. Now, Derail Valley has a whole bunch of updates lined up and waiting for it and in development, but whilst I'm waiting for all of that, I'm just going to continue as I am. These videos, of course, as I said, the last video was 2 months ago. These videos should be a little bit more consistent than they are, but I do struggle for time, and as you've seen on the channel, I am trying to go back to certain titles or certain types of titles that I used to play a long time ago, which were more preferred on my channel, such as Assetto Corsa and Microsoft Flight Simulator and those sorts of things. So it does mean that I have to try and juggle a few bits and bobs and try and make the best of what I can. But for the next video or two, so I'm not sure if this is going to be split into 2 videos. I have no idea. I haven't even told you what I'm doing yet. Today's journey, as I said, going to the harbour and town, but it is going to be these articulated trailers or flatbeds, and it is pretty light, so it should be fine. Apparently it is long, only eight wagons, so not really that long, 144 meters. It says I have an hour and 38 minutes to do it. 20,000. I think I can do it in a much shorter time, but I will have to see whether or not this is 2 videos. So make sure you stay tuned. I am going to be using the same locomotive that I've been using previously. It looks like... Is the sun setting or rising? That is the question. If it is setting, I'm going to wait until morning. I think it might be setting. I shall wait until morning. If it is rising, we shall be out of here momentarily. So make sure you stay tuned. Let me just check the time and let's get started. Right, it was in fact sunset, because all I did was look out there. That is to the west, and the sun was setting. I never really noticed the stars in this. Anyway, stop being distracted. I still have the job on me, which is good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the locomotive that I need first. So there is this locomotive here, which is... I believe this is a demonstrator locomotive. There's also another demonstrator locomotive over... Oh no, this is not a demonstrator locomotive. This is that DM3. That's it. This is the one with all the funny gears. Really would like it if that was cleaned up. That would look lovely. Ooh, do not fall into inspection pits. This is the I fell into an inspection pit. This is the locomotive that I want. Also, something that I realised that I did not know is that I can just push this like this. I did not know that this was a thing that was possible. Next one along. There we go. Right. Let's go ahead and get into this train and see if I can remember how to do this. Right, fuse box was back here. So, thank you. Handbrake can be released. Starter. Brakes. That's throttle. Reverser. Okay, I am sort of remembering how this works. So, as I said, 2 months. It has been 2 months since I have played this. So there are a few things that I'm going to have to get used to once again. Right, push this over here. This is actually, this is actually somewhat easier than, I say that as I'm now struggling. This is somewhat easier than moving it around from inside the building. Inside that is. Especially if I just do that. There we go. Right, that is clear. I shall be heading out to, just make sure, heading out to here, just where I need to be. Good. So I haven't taken the job yet. For those of you who are perhaps new to this or tuning in for the first time on my channel, welcome. Little trick is do not bother taking a job until you have the train attached to it. That's where you always end up maximizing your bonus. It's just going to roll out all the way. We'll see from there, just coasting along, and the reason I'm coasting along is I want to minimize my fuel usage too. And there's no point me going really quickly. As you can see, I'm already coming up to the junction I need to be at, so that is perfectly fine. There is a downhill gradient, but I do not need to worry about that. This train will be more than capable of managing. And there's supposed to be a way to lean out. There it is. Look, I'm a real engine driver now. That's how they lean out, right? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Let's get on the independent. Just roll past the points. And just make sure that these are flipped in the opposite direction. Oh no. Yes, that's it. And back we go. Now I do know that there are plenty of options that we have on these trains where we can customize them. But I have not yet done that. The reason for that is because I've been thinking to myself, if I customize a train, or customize a locomotive, should I say, an engine, and then I lose that engine, what happens to everything I've customized? Whereas with a demonstrator engine, I know that engine is going to stay, I own that engine. So I have been considering that. Now if you have any ideas as to how that actually does work, please do let me know. All the lights have gone off as the sun comes up. Just once again, just easing my way to where I need to be. I've already gone ahead and set the points, and whilst I'm doing that, just check the route map and where I'm going to be going. In fact, check the world map first. And so we are going to be going past there. City we're going to be taking where we are, the direction we are facing, we'll be taking a left, and then I want to continue, so not towards Sawmill West, not towards that, and we want to go down and across towards the harbour. That is the direction we want to go, so just make sure the route map is correct. So past here, We do not want to head towards the forest, so we want to ensure that that is heading over to the right, which it is. Then we continue down to the city. We want that to be to the left, which it is. That to be to the right, which it is. That one needs to go left, which it does. That needs to go right, left, right, left. That appears to be correct. Good. So we are about to bump into our consist, which is fine, not a problem whatsoever. At the speed we are currently doing, which is 6 kilometers per hour, it's only 4 miles per hour, I think we should be safe enough to bump into it. And certainly going past all these points, the friction should be slowing me down just that little bit more, which it does not appear to be. Interesting. Very interesting. Just a touch on the brakes. I've actually tried this title in VR, and it is really, really quite good. That seems better. There we go. We are connected. Or, well, we're not connected, but we are stopped. Right. At this point, I should go ahead and hook this up, ready to take. Let the brakes start feeding through. Check all the way down, check all the handbrakes. You can hear the brakes pressurizing all the way down. That one needs a brake released. And then finally I need to put this onto. There we go. I actually have a light. I bought a lamp because I was getting annoyed that there were no red lamps at the back of a train. So I bought a tail lamp. Right, let's go ahead and take the order. Okay, here we go. So we need to go to D4I. We will sort that out en route. For now, I need to jump atop this, run across the train. Here we go. The timer begins, and we should be able to get ourselves pretty much underway. I suppose the rear lamp on this does not need to be on because, well, I have a lamp at the back of the train. Okay, here we go. Quick toot of the horn. That's fuel cut off. That is not horn. Where is the horn on this train? That looks like it. Yep, that was the horn. Let's go ahead and go into photo mode. Just to get a photo, obviously. How do I cannot remember how to change certain things. Was it I pressed that and then that's it. See, it has been quite some time since I've done this, so everything's I'm a little rusty with everything. There we go. That can be the thumbnail, and we can go back into here, set that into forward, and we are underway. Excellent. So we should be able to, in theory, get ourselves moving fairly easily with this. Do I need the fan? Probably not. Now, I will have to keep an eye on the world map, ensuring that we do not mess anything up. Yep, this is moving really quite quickly. That is good. That is really good that we can move this train. So this hydraulic, this DH4 does have the ability to move a lot of stuff. It's just I'm not very good at it, and I didn't really know what I was doing. That is the coal power plant up ahead. Obviously we're not going there. We're going to be bypassing that. And if I can get this to my destination within the next 40 minutes, this is probably going to end up being a single episode. Jumping onto the main line. And we do have a downhill section, but we also have a high speed, so I'm not really concerned. I can just let the train coast all the way. And I think as long as let me have a look. As long as I keep the train through this section no higher than 70 kilometers per hour, we should be all right. But to save fuel, just coast all the way there. Hopefully everybody is having a good day. Ooh. I'm not sure if I've been this way before. I'm not sure. Have I been this way before? Early morning fog. This is an interesting view that I found myself in. What did I do? Oh, I stepped down that step. Right. I know there's a way to... There it is. If I press X, it just brings me down into... I suppose what is supposed to be more of a seated position? First, I'm not entirely certain. I hope this is... Oh dear. Get the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes. Dynamic. What's the dynamic brake again? That one. There it is. Okay. I need to ensure that I do not exceed 60, it seems. I thought 70 would be perfectly fine, but 60 appears to be the limit. For a second, I was concerned that I was hauling empty wagons, and all the semi-trailers, semi-articulated trailers had fallen off, which would be problematic. And now we are going uphill, so I can bump on the throttle. Just a little. And then ease it off as we're back into the downhill. Let the train accelerates. This section all the way to here should be all right. A little bit concerned when we get there. I'm probably going to have to slow down to about 30. So just going to be wary of that. Creeping up in speed. are 70. I know this is 100, but as I said again, as I get closer to that, I'm going to be slightly concerned. $100, and it does warn me of slowing down, so let's get on. In fact, what am I doing? Let's use the dynamic brake again. 80, and we are going to be slowing down further. How close are we to? Yes, right, okay. We are getting fairly close. I cannot see the buildings yet, but I am going to continue slowing down. 60. Surprisingly, for being two months out of there are the buildings. For being 2 months out of this, I am fairly surprised that I am able to drive a train without having derailed it at a relatively decent speed. Now, I'm fairly sure, if I remember correctly, that this is a 30 mile per hour or 30 kilometre per hour corner. It is. Which I have managed to perfectly slow down for. I'm surprised I even managed that. That was surprising. Now, where is the next one? This is where things get a little bit more technical, so I'll have to be a little bit more careful as I go through. This has only taken me, so it has taken me 5 minutes to get from there to there. That is literally all it has taken me. So I think I'm going to be doing rather well on time. What I should do is get the harbour up so that I can work out what I'm going to be doing with regards to that when I get a little bit closer. This is a very tight turn coming up. That I'm not taking. Right, why did I think I was taking that one? Which turn is that? Oh, that's the turn towards Sawmill. Right, that is not the one. The next one that I am taking is also 30, so I might as well stay at 30 through this area, even though it says, what does it say? 80. I think there are going to be a couple of 30s coming up, so there is really no point me accelerating much further than this, or much more than this. Just prepare myself for the next corner. I do wonder, because Derail Valley, the developers, Alt Future, have said that they are going to be adding more maps and more trains, and you'll be able to move cargo between maps and whatnot, which I really think is going to be awesome. But I have no idea how long this is going to be for them to pull this off. That being said, this is still a really good title. Now, I know this is a 50, but the next turn is not. I'm pretty certain the next turn is not. The next point, that is, not the next turn as in the next... Not the next bend in the rails, but the next set of points. That I have to that I have to actually go through, not just push through like this one. So it's a set of points that I select. These ones here. Apparently they are 50. Alright then. I stand corrected. I shall... Nope, they are not. They are 30, as I thought. I knew it. Just make sure that I do clear the turn. One thing that would be nice, I suppose, would be installing one of the train length tools. I suppose that would be a good idea. Looks like a slight uphill. So I'm going to really push the engine here. To deal with it. I remember somebody leaving a comment saying that you have to push this engine. So whoever that somebody was, thank you, somebody. $60. Just being careful, still being careful. We are making very good time here. Next 10 minutes, I expect to be here within the next 10 minutes. If not, even further. $40 around this corner, and then it looks like it should be fairly smooth from this point here to here. Should be fairly smooth, unless, of course, I take a wrong turn and I've set the dispatcher incorrectly, in which case, whoops. So this locomotive is not struggling in the slightest with 144 tons. I'm expecting that it should not struggle with 300 tons as well, but I'm fairly sure I've had that happen to me before. This is the locomotive. So it says 2,000 tons without any incline, 2% incline, 600 tons, 500 if the weather is bad. I think it is perhaps a little less than that. So I would say no more than 350 to 400 tons for a dry run and 300 tons for a wet run to be able to get reasonable speed out of it. Might as well accelerate away. Is that a steel mill in the distance? Potentially. Just heard a bird, but I have no idea whether that bird is in Derail Valley or outside. I have absolutely no idea. Maybe I should shut that. That makes it so much quieter. That is so much quieter. Maybe I should have done that from the beginning. It's interesting how it pipes the noise in. So it's either all or nothing, it seems. Which is interesting. Oh, weird rock formation down there. Making good headway. $50 is fine, and 40, I think we are continuing straight. So 50 is the one for us. Going into a downhill, so I might as well ease off the throttle. That way, I believe, is the steel mill. Are we there yet? Actually, I have no idea. Yes, so that was the steel mill, or that was the farm that I was looking at. Now I just hope I have this selected correctly, which I do. Making very good speed. Accelerate a little. Going to bring myself up to about 60. It says 80 and we can go even faster, so perhaps I will continue accelerating. Yes, this is quite a reasonable area actually. Probably have to slow down to 70 for those bends. We'll see. $100 and increasing. I think the fastest I've seen is 120 on this map. Not that I've ever been able... I think the fastest I've taken a train is 90, which is only about 55 miles per hour. 120 with a drop. 100 with another drop. Might as well just ease off now. I have no idea what the next drop is going to be. But doing 70 through this is a reasonable enough pace, I would say. Wait for the next speed limit. It's an 80 without a drop. So that should be fine. That looks like a 70 though. So perhaps that one should have had a downward arrow. So slow down just below 70 for the turn. And is that the sharper of the turns? No. That is the shallower of the turn. So we should be continuing to slow down 60, potentially 50. So I'll just let everything coast to whatever speed it needs to be. That says 80. I think that some of these speed limits perhaps need to be smoothed out, so it should just remain 70 through here, given that it will be slowing down there, back to 70. So I think that there is a requirement of perhaps the developers going through and just smoothing some of these speeds out. Check the route map, make sure that this is correct, which it is. Good. Check station map. So we will be coming in from here. We are heading towards D, I believe. So that is good. Then we go... So I'm going to have to try and somehow reverse this in. How would I do that? I could... Okay, I have an idea. I'll go up here, through this, keep an eye on the speed. 60. We are doing 50, that's fine. Then what I can do is try and pull it in to here, and then reverse it out. That way the front of the train will... Can I do that? Yes, I think that is what I'm going to have to do. Somehow I'm going to have to pull it into C and then reverse it. Yep. That is the plan. But how do I do that? Down, reverse. Then that goes that way, that goes that way, that will be fine. Or can I bring it Oh, I could just go straight into wherever I'm going. Is it? Whichever one it is. Hang on. Brakes required. There we go. Good thing I was watching that. What does it say? Where do I need to go? D4I. D4I. So, route map, station map. Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter because I'm going to come in through here. I can always turn the train around. So I'll come in this way. That goes that way, and that goes that way, and I bring the train in, and then I just move myself through it. That is fine. I do not need to worry about what I was worrying about. So that can just go directly that way, and we should be fine. Right, we are now set to be in to take this train all the way to the drop-off point at the harbour and town. Excellent. It is now just a matter of reaching there in, well, just a few minutes. We are literally moments away. And this has so far taken me 25 minutes, approximately. I think it has only taken 25 minutes. So I should be collecting a fairly hefty bonus. Unless I've picked up the wrong load, in which case that is going to be a problem. Slow it down. That was a 40. There we go. Good. Just trying to keep an eye on everything. But just very gently ease it in. I suppose at this point I should probably open the window again. No, that's loud. Doesn't matter. Coming back up to 70. But I'm just letting the train ease its way up. Dynamic brakes might be required. I am accelerating rather quickly. And we're now in a 60. But I think we are here, aren't we? Yes, we are effectively here. This is a sharp turn. I'll remember this. Welcome to Harbour and Town again. I know I've come here many times. There are only a few places. Yes, there are only a few places that I've not yet been to on this map. So we just have to go around that corner, keep the train relatively slow, and drive it in. Dynamic brake will probably be of good use here. Definitely of good use. Minimal squeal, which is fine. I think Are these 30 kilometre per hour corners? I'm not entirely certain. Just need to double check. So it says 40. Steep downhill. Not so steep anymore. Bit of a terrain glitch. Yes, it is 30, but it's 30 it's 30 to the right, and I'm going to the left, so it does not matter. Nevertheless, since we are here, I might as well slow right down. And now it is really just a matter of coasting into where we need to be. I just really hope that there are not some wagons already in that yard, in that siding. In fact, I'm now thinking about that, and I need to go check. I think the train should be all right at this speed. Off we go. Not here. This isn't the one. This is the one. Which one is it? D7, D6, D5, D4. D4 is empty, and I can slip the train back from where? Going through here and back up this one, should the need be. Okay, which I will need to do because of how the train works with, I think I need to bring it back to the roundhouse for filling or something like that. So I'll have to take it back here, which I guess I can start sorting out now. And then turn it in here. In fact, just go straight and just park it straight in here and then do everything that needs to be done. Excellent. Right, get back to the train because we are just about here. In fact, I've just thought about this. Prepare this as well. So we are taking, so if we end up on this one, we are going through there, which is correct. But on this side, is it set for me to go through there? No, because I need to come all the way down the end. Okay, that is fine. Right, where is the train? There it is. Surprised I've managed to do this. But I have. And in plenty of time. So what I could do is I could be really cheeky and get the train slowing itself down on the handbrakes. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to get the train on the brakes anyway. Get it slowing down. Like so. Should be fine to the end. Yep, we are perfectly fine. Good. Handbrake on the back one. Excellent. Now I could do a shunting job with this, but I'll have to see. Switch that off. Sorry, disconnect that. Disconnect that. Decouple the train. Realise that I need to grab my lamp. I'm not leaving that behind, that is for sure. Off I go. That was fairly easy. So we'll just move this train out, which will take me a moment. Then get it refilled. I think I can end the job. It's just the whole insurance thing afterwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this train this locomotive backing up whilst I'm at it, just to save some time. Then I'll go ahead and get paid. Yes, I think that is probably a good idea, because it does have quite a way to go to be backed up. Now I'll just back it up slowly so I'm not accidentally messing things up. Just really get this slowing down. That looks clear to me. And it is. Okay, time to get this train backing up. We'll just get it accelerating a bit. What I'm not going to do, because I do need to be careful about this, so I'm not going to have it going very quickly. There we are. It can just work its way through here, which should be fine. Through this, it should be fine. And then in the meantime, I can go ahead and do this, which hopefully by the time I've got this and got the money completed, 20,000, did it in 33 minutes, so I got 30,000. Excellent, I'll take that. Now, you'll see I have 5,000 to pay. So what I'm going to do is hopefully, where is that locomotive of mine? Where are you? Have you still not made it? Hello? Oh, you really are going slowly. Let's push this a little, shall we? That is a little better. So, 5,000 to pay. Let me see if I can repair this and refuel this for less than the 5,000. If that is the case, then I know that I've done a good job. If it isn't, that could be a problem. But this is going to take me a couple more minutes. But 30,000 in the bank, that is not bad at all. It's a pretty good start, or I say a pretty good start, pretty good haul. And if you do enjoy these videos, do let me know. Please do leave comments saying, yes, you want more of this. Because otherwise I obviously would not know. And certainly be sure to share it too. So just need to get to the roundhouse, which is just over there. I think you can just see it. Shouldn't take me too long. I'll drive straight in, forward, and we'll work from there. I do wonder, I haven't yet worked out, if I were to couple this with, let's say, that locomotive, what sort of stress would that locomotive experience, because it is attached to this one, which is obviously more powerful? I do wonder. There's the roundhouse. All I need to do is get up to it, reverse into, I suppose I will be reversing into it, reverse into it, straight into the empty bay, and then get everything paid for. And that should be the license, or the fees all sorted, in theory. Never really managed to do this because I've never really had an opportunity to refuel one of these. So never entirely been sure if it works. Just trying to see where I need to stop. It's just after that. Right there, and then it's just straight in. Straight in. Excellent. There isn't another one of these here though, so that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Keep this slowing down. Flip that over. Back in we go. I am driving in forward, which is fine. Now, just make sure I do not crash it. That really is the only thing I could get wrong. That is straight in, right? This isn't going to trick me. Oh, double check. Yes, that is straight in. What's this for? Water and coal. Water and coal not required. Yep, straight in. Where's the bell or the buzzer? I know this had one. There it is. Job done. Brakes released, handbrake on. Not sure what that noise was for, but there we are. Out we go. Right. How on earth am I supposed to... Where do I plug this in? Here it is. Oh, do I have to click and hold? Okay, so it said 5,000. Let's see what I need to do. So I'll do that, do that, do that, do that. That's all full. 2,700 to pay. Done. I'll keep that with me. I'll pop this back there. And let me now see what the fees say. And that is where I'm going to end this video. Once I've double checked that. Oops. Or go ploughing into a wall. 71. Okay. And that's not what I meant to press. So that has turned out to cost me about 2,800 in total, as opposed to 5,200 or whatever it was. So it does work. Well, there we go. That is the end of that. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Derail Valley as and when I get around to making them. Leave a comment in the comments box below, letting me know what you think, any suggestions you might have. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below. What on earth? I did not know that. Page up and page down, move these around. Well, there's another little thing that I've learnt. Link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. That is all from me. Always learning something new, as you can see. And I shall see you next time in Derail Valley Simulator, yes, it is still called Simulator. Derail Valley Simulator.